Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be taking a look at the new quarterly update for Diablo 4. In this update, we're going to be taking a look at some of the newer customization options, as well as the different artworks and art assets that will be in the game, which is really awesome. So first off, what we're seeing right now in the background is going to be the Barbarians. We do see some of their artworks for some of the animations for some of the skills. That one right there looks to be like a whirlwind ability, but it's really cool to be able to see some of the different ways that they are implementing some of like the lighting, and that's basically the highlight of this new quarterly update, as well as they do mention armor sets, which is something that we now have confirmation on, but I didn't think we previously did have. Now again, this is the Barbarian. We're going to be able to actually change up a lot on the characters. Not only can we change basically the cloth color, which if you guys have played Diablo 3 with like the transmog and like the dye system, we were really only able to customize certain areas of the armor, but now with this newest update from the quarterly update, we're actually able to do a little bit more, which is quite awesome. So let's go ahead and dig right into it. So first off, this is the new quarterly update that just came out today on June 30th. Now, if you guys do want to read everything sentence by sentence, feel free to go ahead and check out the pinned comment, as I will be linking this. However, I'm just going to be covering the highlights of what basically most people want to go ahead and see. So first off, they do show off a lot of the different bosses or elites and different enemy archetypes. This is going to be the Skeleton Lord. Now, if you guys are just interested in gameplay, I totally get it. However, this one is basically all about the artwork. Now, if you guys do want to see gameplay, I did upload gameplay that does show off the Tomb Lord, which is this character that you see like right here. And if you guys do want to check that out, again, that will be in the pinned comment. It's also using the newest class that got introduced, which is the Rogue. So feel free to check that out if you want to. But speaking of Rogue, here is some more artwork from the Rogue. And you guys can see the different customization. We see different piercings over here. We have earrings. So there's a lot more customization. In addition to that, the way that the dye system works in Diablo 4 is not only can we change the cloth, but we can actually change like the metal to either gold or silver. So aesthetic wise, more options in my opinion is always better. Keep in mind though, this is all pre-alpha content, so things are subject to change, and they are taking our feedback into consideration, whether you guys comment on YouTube or over on the like blogs or forums. So definitely let me know what you guys think about this, and I'll give you guys my thoughts after we check out everything. But overall, I would say aesthetic wise, this game looks very, very good. I like the art style and the artwork that they're showing off right now. So this is one of the newer features. They're calling this a layer scene. It's just an area where you can customize your character. It's basically a zoomed up version of your character. And keep in mind, in Diablo 4, during the cutscenes, that's when you're really going to be able to see your character, because they mentioned like little like nose piercings and stuff. And you know, when you're actually playing the game, you're going to be so far zoomed out, you might not notice your earrings. But you know, in the cutscenes, as well as you know, when you're in this layer option, you're going to be able to see all these little things, which I think is really cool. And I think that they did a really good job on the lighting as well. They highlighted on the different forms of lighting and what they're using for like technology, which is cool, but we're not going to dig into that too much in here, as I just want to show you guys the content versus what systems that they're using here. But nonetheless, they are also mentioning the customization depth here. So here's where we're going to be able to change in Diablo 4. So we're going to be able to change the face of our character, obviously, which they showed off at like BlizzCon a while ago. The hairstyle, facial hair, beards and eyebrows, add jewelry, so nose piercings or earrings, makeup, and body markings such as tattoos or body paint. So that's basically what we're going to be able to additionally customize that. Again, we didn't have previously, and I think that's really cool. But they talked about physically based rendering, which again, I'm not going to dig too much into. I just want to show you guys the content here. So on top of that, they're expanding the dye system in Diablo 4, and you guys can see basically what you can change. So not only can we change the little like gold clasps, but we're able to change the cloth as well. In Diablo 3, you're only limited to just, you picked a color and that would change as much as it, you know, would change. You couldn't like go further into it. So I like this idea. The more, again, customization options we have, I consider the better. But this is also something that I don't believe we had mentioned before. So they mentioned an armor set. So a lot of people want to know if there was going to be sets for Diablo 4, and I don't think we had any confirmation with it, but they specifically said armor set word for word here. So you guys can see the difference between what looks like to be a male barbarian and the female barbarian, with like the difference in the artwork. So that's kind of cool as well. We also have a different rogue set So there's what I'm guessing again to be male and female, as the genders are not locked in Diablo 4, which is awesome. But moving on to other content over here, they did show off more Rogue here. This is going to be sped up. This is on 2x speed just so we can get through it. But this is going to be like, normally it's a 3-minute video, but we'll just kind of go a little bit faster here so you guys can see it. But feel free if you guys do want to watch like the full video. Again, everything will be in the pinned down below, which will be like the official blog post over here. There's no newer audio. They didn't like talk in some of these videos. In fact, there's just no audio, but it's an unlisted video, so you know, you'll have to have the link to actually view it. But I like the art aesthetics over here, and this is again the Rogue. It looks like really cool. And keep in mind, the Rogue is also going to be able to dual wield daggers, which you'll see in a moment. And you can kind of hybrid out, which is really cool in Diablo 4. Like the Barbarian can have multiple different weapons. Again, this is showing off more so in the gameplay videos, but this one's just all about the art aesthetic. And I like it. I think they did a really good job, and it's going to be awesome if we're able to further customize our character, maybe even by unlocks and stuff like that, because I'm not sure how we're going to get these different cosmetic items, whether they're going to do like microtransactions or what, because if they're talking about like nose like jewelry, I don't think we're going to get that as like an item that's equipable, right? It'd probably be something that we unlock by just playing the game, or an MTX, or like a, you know, a journey to like a seasonal conquest or something. So the more customization options we have, the better. But just all the different artworks is basically the highlights. We can see the double daggers. But we can also see the running animation and the way that the cloth works. And overall, for me, this is really good. Like in terms of like the job that they've done, I have really no criticism here. And now we are getting into a little bit of VFX right there at the very end, which is kind of cool to go ahead and see. And I'm curious to know how you guys feel about like the VFX in Diablo. But they talk a little bit more about the different bosses and different enemies here. And I'm just going to show you guys the videos, but pretty much it will show off all of them here. So going into the Blood Bishop over here, let me just open up this. So this is what the Blood Bishop does look like, and they basically just let the character rotate a couple times, but it's really cool to see again all of the little small details that go into creating each like individual like little part. And they do a little bit of like zoom ins on some of the different areas where they show off, like it looks like the thing is like contracting. I think it looks really cool. But yeah, that's basically going to be the Blood Bishop right there. But there's still more to show off. Like this one is the organic surfaces. They're just showing off like the different like ways that they are doing highlights, and you can see some VFX in the like eyes in the background of what looks to be some type of like Cerberus demon. Looks really cool as well. But again, it's just gonna like play out for another 30 seconds, so we'll skip out on the playing out. Again, all of it. Another little rotation showing off the lighting, and I think they did a really good job overall. You can see it even like fading into, I'm not sure if it's like fog or just like the lack of light in the area, but even the shadows looking very good indeed. This is it just says pale night. I don't think that was going to be like the confirmation of the Crusader, but this is the Succubus, and I'm curious to know how you guys feel about the artwork on the Succubus. I really liked the Succubus in Diablo 1, if you guys remember that, although that one maybe a little bit too spicy for the aesthetic, and obviously, you know, if people want to stream the game on Twitch and other things, yeah, you might get a higher strict rating on the game, but, you know, for me, I don't mind that, but I'm curious to know what you guys think about the new Succubus. But here is the Spider Host. This looks really cool as well. I like seeing the different enemy archetypes that they introduced. It looks like a spider is like taken over, kind of like a, well, what originally probably was some type of humanoid body, and now it's like some type of demon. It's cool, indeed, as well. And here's just another last rotation of like the Blood Bishop. But that's pretty much what's inside the rest of it. It just goes over like the depth of like, you know, what they've done to achieve certain things over here. But like, look at some of these surfaces. It's just really cool, and they kind of explain a little bit more, and that pretty much wraps things up for it. But to give you guys like my thoughts on it, and I'm curious to know what your guys' thoughts are as well on the artwork assets for Diablo 4. For me, I think they did a fantastic job. I'm really curious to see how they handle VFX, because like in Diablo 3, I feel like aesthetic-wise, this looks awesome, right? But for me personally, I wasn't a fan of like the big, bright like colors that would happen, especially if you're doing some of the gameplay. It just becomes like a VFX field, especially when you're zooming by really fast, and there's a little bit of clutter on screen with the explosions and all these things, right? But in terms of Diablo 4, depending on the pacing of the game, this obviously matters a lot. And for me personally, customization in terms of like the earrings and stuff, that's cool that we have more options, but in terms of the gameplay, it's going to be maybe difficult to see all of these finite details if there's going to be a lot of explosions and all kinds of stuff going on like Diablo 3 had, where we had these giant circles where it was like, don't stand in here for this boss AoE, right? But that is just part of the game, and overall for me, what I'm really interested more in is seeing the customization in the like weapon department and stuff like that. But that's going to pretty much wrap up the video. And again, if you guys do want to see more like gameplay, definitely check out this video. It's got probably what most of you guys would want to see in terms of like newer content here. But there wasn't anything new in this quarterly update. But let me know your thoughts down below. But thanks for tuning in, guys. And if you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you guys do want to see more Diablo 4 as well as other action RPG and other content, as Path of Exile is getting an update very soon, hit subscribe, turn that bell, and you'll definitely see more very soon. But anyways, take care, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video. I'm out. Peace.